So the new album, let's talk about that. Kentucky, out on April the 1st, I believe.
Yes.
When I've heard one track off the album, and for me it felt like you were kind of going back to the beginning.
Pretty much. I mean, with this record, we went back to the original studio. It's in a different location now, but it's the same engineer, all the same equipment that we did the first record with, the self-titled, when it came out a decade ago. God, I feel old every time I say that. But no, like we're at 10 years of that, and it was like almost 10 years to the day that we started recording Kentucky as when we recorded the debut. And I don't know, it's just really cool to go back there and be free and not have to have any outside opinion. We self-produced the entire record. So
And that was the first time you've done that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why did you want to self-produce?
I mean, at this point in our career, we've
We had a transition from the label we were on
Yeah.
to a different label called Mascot, and it was it was just great to be able to have the freedom to make so many artistic choices that we were kind of limited to before.
Yeah, it was just time for us to do it our way, finally.
Yeah.
I mean, we've worked with some of the greatest producers in rock and roll. I mean,
and learned a lot.
And you learn something
what
every
worked
time
for us and what didn't,
Yeah.
and then you take that, and that experience is that's what made us be able to do what we can do now.
Do you think it's made a difference to your sound going back to the beginning, in the place where you first recorded, going home essentially?
There's definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, even with us, like I said, it's 10 years later. But even 10 years later, going back to that studio with that engineer and it just being the four of us in there with him, there's a certain element of youth in this record that I don't think we would have gotten anywhere else we could have went to record. I mean, there's not any digital editing on the record. It's all what we played,
There's
how
no
we played
auto-tune.
it.
Chris is singing without,
Yeah, there's no pitch correction on the record.
Do you record
anything.
all as a band, as a live?
Well,
recording?
it's kind of half and half. Like, we all play together while we're recording.
Yeah.
We get the drums, and then from there, if there's like a special part of a guitar or something, we keep it. But it's very much more so in the form of today, to where if you keep the special parts of the guitars, but then you go back and make sure that they're good. I mean, because you don't want to put out a record where you're playing the wrong chords. You know what I mean? But
there's a song, Evil.
it's pretty much one take.
It is one take, yeah. That's one take, which is on our special edition.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes you do grab stuff that's you can't recreate. There's things that, like, the biggest thing for me, because we always go back and do the vocals and do rhythms and bass, but Chris doing the majority of the leads, Ben does leads too, but Chris doing the majority. There are things that even when we practice these songs, we go in and record, and I'll feel something that Chris is doing on the lead guitar, and I'm playing,
or vice versa.
Or vice versa. He does something that. So and that stuff, we might keep that take, or at least have that skeleton to go back and him find a different tone and try to catch that. And sometimes that is the solo that goes on the record.